This is my first video of 2017.
2018.
This is my first video of 2018. You good with that year?
I'm good.
So this has been, I've been doing these videos for just over a year now, and I want to thank everyone that has subscribed. I have just over 1,100 subscribers, and I made a whopping $250 from advertisements on this channel that she cashed. So thanks for your support. That was very nice. We got a nice little pen project. Again, with not limited tools.
We didn't have to buy any tools this time.
Damn it. So the wife's boss is retiring and she wanted to make him a pen. So I thought, perfect time to do a how-to video on how to make a pen. There's a lot of them out there, but this is my method, and my methods are usually the best. First thing, get yourself a copy of Penn State Industries catalog. I don't really like recommending businesses or whatever, but there's a lot of information in here, and there's a lot of parts and steps that you're going to need to know and tools to do it. All that stuff's in the Penn State catalog. Just go on there and get your free catalog. So first thing we're going to do is pick a pen kit. So we'll do that now. See what I got. Alright, so we're going to do an executive pen kit. Every pen kit has its own set of bushings. The bushings tell you how big of a piece of wood is going to match up with the hardware that comes with it. So you got to make sure that if you're doing a pen kit, if you haven't done it before, you have to buy the bushings to match. So we got the pen kit, the bushings, we need a blank. For blank, here's your pen tube. You need a piece of wood this big and usually 3/4 of an inch square. Okay, in true female fashion, she switched back to the wenge. So we take our pen blank. This is not pen blank, pen tube. This one's already sanded. If it's not, you want to just rough it up. If it's a smooth tube, just so that the glue sticks easier. So we take our little pen blank cutter. If you don't know what this is or how to use it, check out my other video because this thing's awesome. Set the pen tube in there, and then we're just going to cut the blank to size on the bandsaw. So each pen kit will tell you what size drill bit it needs. The executive, I'm pretty sure, is 3/8. Yes. So we're going to need to drill a 3/8 inch hole down through here to accept the pen tube. Alright, you don't necessarily need all these special little jigs and gadgets or whatever, but it makes everything a lot easier. So we have the pen blank in the jig. I'm just going to mark center on it. And then punch the hole.
Not center.
Yeah, it's close enough. And punch a starter hole. So we'll go over to the drill press. We'll drill that straight through. In this case, with a 3/8 inch bit. Yeah, keep going, just a little bit farther. Okay, so because we held it in the vise, we got a nice even cut right through. It's a little off, but it'll be fine. Don't fret.
Don't fret.
So for the next step, we need to glue the tube into the pen blank. So you could do that with thick CA glue or some quick 5-minute epoxy. I think the epoxy works better, but whatever.
Why don't I get the good stuff?
This is the good stuff, epoxy. I think the epoxy works better.
Oh, my bad.
So we're just going to mix small equal amounts. Just enough to coat the outside of the tube, yeah.
Oh, that does not smell good.
You gotta mix it, come on.
I did mix it.
It's good?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so smear that on the outside of the tube. You want to have the majority of it up towards the top because it's going to push through as it comes down. Does that look good to you?
I think so.
Okay. So then we're just going to take the tube and we're going to push it in here. We're going to give this a little spin. And you want to cut the pen blank just a little bit longer than the tube. The jig that I made automatically puts that in. That's why it's so nice. So you want to have it just a little bit in on both sides, maybe a 1/16 or an 1/8. So once that dries, we'll square the end to the tube. So we just got to give that a couple minutes. Okay, so back over at the drill press, we have installed a pen barrel trimmer, which is one of these. These tubes are sized to match the tubes that are in here. They don't have to be exact, especially if you're doing them on a drill press. It's just to keep it square. So we're going to stick this pen tube and blank back in the vise, and we're going to bring it down, and all we're going to do is just going to trim off the top and make the top flush with the pen tube. So as soon as you see the brass kind of show through, and you'll see it, you stop. If you go a little bit, you know, fractions of a centimeter aren't going to be critical, but you want to get it as close as possible. So just turn that on, and I'll do one side just to show you. So this is just going to go down, and then we're going to cut it right here. A little bit at a time, and just check to see if the brass is coming through. See the little bit of brass right there. So once you get that done, you just flip it around and do the opposite to this. Same thing on the other side. So what that's done is made the pen blank the exact size as the pen tube on both sides, and it's square. So now we're going to go finally to the lathe. So over at the lathe, I have, this is called a pen mandrel, another thing that you'll see in that catalog. This just slides into the headstock. And there's some 7mm bushings. These usually come with it. They're used for some of the pens, but not most of them. So what we're going to do is take the special bushings, put one on each side of the tube, and in this case it doesn't matter which side's the head or which side's the base, because they're exactly the same. So this is going to slide onto the mandrel, and then we just put a couple more spacer bushings on the end, and bring up the tailstock. On the tailstock, this is called the mandrel saver, and this is just going to slide over, and it's just going to create pressure. What do you call that? Friction. It's just going to create a friction fit so that nothing slides off. So that just slides into the tailstock, and then we tighten it up so that when we hit this with the chisel, it doesn't just spin. Lock that down. Bring in the headstock, or the tool rest. Thank you. And the first thing you want to do is just take off the corners. Nice and easy, so you don't, this piece of wood is wenge, so this is really hard, so it chips easy, so you're just going to want to go slow with this type of wood. Knock those corners off, make it round. And then the idea is to bring the wood down to match the diameter of the bushing on both sides. What happens in the middle is totally up to you, and that's, we could leave that up to your own artistic license. But this side and this side both need to match exactly to the bushing so that all the pen pieces line up together and there's a smooth transition. So to start off, I have these carbide chisels that I made We're going to use these. These are the easiest and most forgiving tools to use, I think, especially for a beginner turner. So we'll have Alicia use that to round this off and then start shaping it. We'll set the speed to about 1200 and go. So you're just going to, that's a little slow. You're just going to want to come in nice and light. And just take those corners down. Okay? Here, and if you ever want to stop and just see how you're doing. So that's not quite round, but it's getting, see how this chips out?
Yeah. Okay.
That's your emergency stop.
This one?
Yep, you're going to want to keep a hand here. This is just to hold it down and steady it. This hand is all your motion.
Okay, so you need to move.
Yeah. This is Alicia's first time putting a chisel on the lathe.
Am I going in too much? Because it looks like it's wider here than...
It is, you are. But it's not round yet, so you got to take all that off anyway. You're alright, just keep going.
You're not a beginner.
Alright, now once you get close to the end, start from the outside and work in so you don't get a blowout. Just take very small pieces off the edge.
Is that okay?
Yeah, you're good. Alright, now if you can also use this chisel on the side, so you can put it here and just let's see how you're doing for yeah, see, this is round, so everything's gonna just work off of that. So if you could bring that line straight across. If this goes in a little deep, just let it stay deep for now.
Okay.
It's a little hard to build a round chisel, but you probably do. You know what? You want to try this one? It's the same thing, but it's got a square.
Can I go all the way to the end?
I think so. Well, not even.
Wow.
Just go from the outside and in. I think I might have to flatten it. Cut yourself?
Yep.
Chisels are sharp. Oh, wow! You got both fingers! She just went to go dust the chips off of the chisel and slid her hand right on the sharp corner and slit 2 fingers. She's got like deep paper cuts. Not good. That's not good. These are brand new chisels. No one's ever even used these before. So she's going to wash that up and then come back and we're going to work on this a little bit more. Go ahead, show them all what you did with your special chisel.
Nothing to see here.
3 Band-Aids, count them.
3?
1, 2, 3.
Don't do what I did.
Okay, so now Alicia has switched to a skew chisel and she's just beveling down the edges so they line up perfectly with the bushings. I did the side closest to you to show her. See how perfect that is? It's awesome. We'll see how she does on the other side. So we're just using the skew chisel as a scraper and just get it down there in nice, easy, delicate cuts. We don't want to take off too much because then the pen things don't line up. Yeah, blow it off, don't brush it off. So now the center part, you can pick, like say this is going to be the tip where you hold it. Mm-hmm. So I usually will taper it like from here down and then from here down. Okay. Just to like quarter it or whatever. Okay. But you can, this is, make whatever profile you want. Okay. You just can't go smaller than to the bushing. Right. That's good. Once you find that angle, just stay on that straight path so it's not wonky, wavy or whatever like that. Just a little bit at a time. When we sand, we're going to go down to about 1,000, and we're just going to keep the sandpaper moving. If you hold it in one spot, you get grooves. Okay. So you just want to keep the sandpaper moving and you're smoothing it out. So the sanding process takes a little while. You're going to want to go through your grits. If you start at 80 or even 60, that's fine. Just remember it's 60, 80, 120, 220, 220, 320, 400, 600, and the higher you go, the smoother it gets. Remember, each piece of sandpaper takes out the lines from the one before and the scratch marks, and you want to make sure that you're moving that sandpaper back and forth like she's doing there so you don't get any grooves. So because this is your first piece of sandpaper, all your shaping should be done when you're done with that piece of sandpaper. When you're happy with the way it is, everything's lining up good, then you can move on to the next sandpaper. Okay, so the blank is sanded smooth, it's shaped, everything's good. This next part is up for debate. This is the finishing process. There's 100 different ways that guys finish it. This is the way that I like to do it, and that's the way we're gonna do it. And if you don't like it, then go find somewhere else and learn from there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just clean off all the sawdust with the denatured alcohol.
Can I do this?
Yeah, you can do it. Just squirt a little on there and rub it through, and that's just we're just trying to get rid of the sawdust. So once that's dry, then we're good to go. Move on. Okay, so now that's clean. So after that, I'm going to use that rag again. This is Triple E Ultra Shine. This is a micro abrasive polish. So we're just going to rub a little of that on the rag and rub that onto there. So we're just going to take, yeah. So just take a little bit of this and you're just going to turn it on and just rub it in. Try not to get it on the thing because it stains like that.
On the
try not to get, yeah, try to keep it off the bushings. You're going to get it on the bushings, but so rub that in, give it a little bit of pressure. Alright, so this thing is smooth as a baby's bottom. Silky smooth. Nobody saw your tiny when you did that. So now that we've got that, I'm going to put on several coats of friction polish.
No, I'm going to.
Yeah, okay, you're going to do that. So this is Mylan's friction polish. This is again another product from that you can get through Penn State. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a friction polish, so you're going to put some on. Oh, this thing's broken. You're going to put some on, you're going to rub it in with some force to create friction, and the heat will make it solidify. I'm just going to drip it on here. Maybe. Rub that in, and then turn the speed up. Woo! I went too fast. I'm at about 2,800 RPMs right now. So we're gonna do 4 or 5 coats.
Okay.
So you want to start down in the 1,000 range and then move it up into the 2,000 range.
And I don't need a lot, right?
No, you just have to coat it. It's just like doing the denatured alcohol. That's perfect.
Now turn it on?
Yep.
What did you do?
Yeah, that's fine.
You hear the pressure, right?
Yeah, you should feel it getting warm. So the friction polish is a combination of oils and waxes. When you give it friction in it, it'll bind in to either the coat before it or the wood, just like a wax would. But it really, really shines it up. Let me see if I can bring this in closer and so you could see. So it's super, super smooth. It's glassy. So the more coats of this that we do, the better. It's it just builds upon itself. So the more coats you do, the deeper it gets. I mean, you start doing 10 coats, it starts getting excessive, but we're going to do about 5.
1,000, right?
So we've got about 5 coats of the friction polish on here. This is 100% carnauba wax. So what I'm going to do with this is just, I'm at 2,300. These speeds are arbitrary, they don't really mean a lot. I'm just going to rub this in, and you can see it getting on there. And then I'm going to take that rag and I'm just going to buff this in. I'm going to give it a good amount of pressure, keep the rag moving. And the carnauba wax will give it like more of a hard, more durable outer shell. So that's what we're trying to accomplish with that. So I'm going to let that sit and just cool down a little bit, and then we'll go back and put one more coat on. Okay, so this is done on the lathe. So now we're going to take off these bushings. Okay, so the next step is to do the final assembly of the pen. So we need to take all of the parts that we have and figure out where they go. Most kits, especially beginner kits, will come with instructions on how to put each individual pen together. Once you get a bunch of these done, it really makes sense. The first couple times you got to look through it and pay attention to the diagrams and follow the process for assembly, but it gets very intuitive after you do a couple. So as an experiment, let's just see if you can do it by yourself.
I don't have my glasses on.
Okay. Pen assembly. Line up the finished parts according to the diagram. The next step is press the clip coupler assembly into the barrel. So this is a
it goes on this end, right?
pen press. You could do this with a drill press. You could do it with a clamp. I have the pen press because my mother-in-law bought it for me. So we're going to use it.
This one?
Just gonna, yeah, just make sure it lines up. Keep one hand on that, and then the other one just
On the
pushes
pen?
up. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Press the tip assembly carefully into the other end of the barrel.
Oh.
You're going. So double check and make sure. Now your seam should line up because that's the diameters of the barrels. So if you don't feel any lips or anything, then everything's all good. Insert the refill with the spring
There's the spring.
into the barrel. Screw the twist mechanism in. Alright, so why don't you tell everyone what you thought of the process?
It was actually a little bit easier than I thought. I think that you still did a lot of work, but
Not bad at all. Pretty cool, I made this. Well, we made this.
No, you made it. I just was there to hold your hand. We need more friction polish.
That's not a tool though.
And a box. I have no other words of wisdom, nothing like that. Do you have words of, she's full of words of wisdom. What do you got?
Thank you, sweetheart.
Smartest thing she did all day. That's funny right there.
Right there.
I don't care who you are.
Oh, that's not good.
We're gonna need another spring. I found the spring that just shot across the shop. This is the
Don't do it again.
This is the tiniest little spring ever. Selfie time in the shop. Men don't take selfies in the shop.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's a nice lathe.
You're welcome.
Top dollar.